Hi, I'm with Margot Bowdendale. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Okay, good.
It's a lovely night. I'm very happy to be here.
Women's Media Center. Congratulations. Tell us how you're involved.
Well, I'm presenting an award tonight to Soledad O'Brien, who I'm very excited about meeting, as I'm a huge fan of hers.
Okay, and how come?
She brings incredible diversity to everything she talks about. She, coming from the world of the Latino background, African American, she has a world of knowledge in everything she reports on.
You're in the media world. Tell us about your involvement and what you think of the importance of women in media.
I think it's very important to have women directors and writers and producers, in that they bring a deeper, richer color to things.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Did you have good role models growing up?
My mother, who was a feminist without even knowing she was one.
And what do you mean in that regard?
She never told me to take the back seat to any man, and I grew up in a household of men. So, but you know, I was always tried to be top at all the fields that men were top, and I mean in school, not athletics or anything. But my brothers were football players and golfers and stuff like that. So, in math and science, I've tried to be the top of my class.
It's important for a mother. I had the same mother, and she was a worker. She did very well. She was a librarian, even a master's degree in the 20s.
Wow, that's incredible.
I always said my mother was a women's liberator, but she would know the word was, because she was a great speller and everything. But
yeah,
but there was no, you're a working person, working woman, working man. We were working.
Right. My mother was working as a homemaker, and then my father died suddenly, and she went to work at the place that we'd been members of, the country club, where we were big-time members. We didn't know that there really was no money left, and she went to work working at the country club.
That's the way it is, right?
Yeah, that's the way it is.
It's the life of
never blinked, just did it.
Hard knocks.
Absolutely.
The realities of life.
Absolutely. I owe so much to my mother.
What can we find you on now?
I'm on CBS on Friday nights at 8, A Gifted Man.
A gifted man?
A gifted man.
What is he gifted with?
He's a gifted neurosurgeon, and he's arrogant and needs to be transformed, and he's being transformed by spiritual healing.
Last question. What's good news for you?
Good news for me? I don't know. I like to stay positive about most everything. Now, you ask my husband and daughter that, they'll say that's not true.
I got the same daughter.
I know. I get it. I understand.
And I've had the same wives, too. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, hi, I'm here with Jewel Bigford. Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
What brings you here tonight, Jewel?
I'm a board member of the Women's Media Center, and it's really one of the most important organizations in my life.
Why is that?
Because it's changed my life. I see the world very differently now that I'm a board member and I know what they do. It's the way women are portrayed in the media is often not flattering, and we've almost been inured to seeing it. So they've opened my eyes, and as a really establishment banker, which is what I am, I was oblivious to it before, and I've really enjoyed being a part of this movement.
That's a very interesting perspective. I also, even though I was been in the media for 40 years, I wouldn't have understood it unless I got a master's in it, where they taught me about the power of communications, understanding communications, understanding what it can actually mean to a community, as we speak here, women. The depictions of what people see, because actually we're not trained that that's actually a TV show or that's somebody's opinion in a newspaper. It's a very serious concern, because when you read something or you watch something, you might actually think that's real.
Well,
it might not be.
I understand, and I have 2 daughters and 2 granddaughters, and it is very important to me that what's happening stop. And the biggest issue that I have is the sexualization of young girls by the media, which the Women's Media Center has been in the forefront of trying to identify so that we can stop it. I mean, Halloween costumes for 7-year-olds that are whorish is really inappropriate, and it's that kind of effort that we identify that really appeals to me. I would like very much to be in the forefront of stopping that.
Well, I will say you're very well spoken, and as a producer, if the banking doesn't work out, you could be a broadcaster.
Oh, how very nice of you. Thank you.
One last question, though.
Yes.
What's good news for you?
What?
What's
sorry?
good news for you?
Oh, good news for me. Are we talking about the financial markets or are we talking about the media?
Life, any respect of your life.
Oh, good news for me is when my children, my husband, and my grandchildren are happy. I'm
Beautiful.
Sorry, but that's good news for me.
That's the best news. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm here with Maggie Wilderauer. Hi, Maggie. How are you?
I'm terrific, thank you.
Frontier Communications?
Yes, I'm the chairman and CEO of Frontier.
What does Frontier do?
We're the largest provider of communication services to rural America. So we do phone, broadband, and video services and products for customers that live in smaller communities in the United States.
A lot of those customers want more. I mean, because they can't get it.
Well, we're
right?
building broadband. Actually, we've built out 500,000 homes in the last 12 months in many communities in states like West Virginia, Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, Idaho. So we're very excited about continuing to bring broadband to rural America.
I think it's great, and it appears that the country wants that as well. So that's good by far, because not everybody can live in the city. It's too much.
And we believe that if you decide to live in a community that gives you the livelihood and lifestyle you want, you should have exactly the same communication services as New York City.
I find it very interesting. Actually, I did a study with a guy named Peter Goldmark. He invented the record. And when I was in Fairfield, master's degree, 40 years ago, we went into the rural parts of Storrs, Connecticut, up there,
yes,
to find out. It was one of the first cable studies, whether people wanted it. They said, you know, we're living up here because we love to live in those areas, but a little bit of communications wouldn't hurt.
Exactly. And I also think that we can't forget that those environments are very vibrant. It's where small business is the backbone of the United States, and small business needs communication services as well.
I agree, and I'm in favor of a lot of people moving here to America, and we need places to go for them.
Yep.
And so I'm talking a lot about your company because we're at a media event.
Yes.
And you're all about media.
Yes.
And so you're connected here in what way?
Well, the Media Center actually has wonderful programs for young women that are up and coming in the field of media. And so my support of that is really critical, because I think women who have made it in media can help bring younger women along and help them in their professions as well. So it's a real honor to get this award tonight.
Well, they have that ability to mother and to help and mentor. Next
Yes.
question for you. What's good news for you?
Good news for me is that my children are healthy and happy, and so's my husband, that my business is going well. I'm in 27 states, almost 4,000 communities. And what's good for me is when they're using broadband, phone service, and video to make their lives better.
Great, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What's good news for Gloria Steinem tonight?
Good news is that I've discovered aging is enjoyable, full of energy, a kind of sense of oneness and a lack of anxiety that didn't come with youth. And the only, I mean, there's the death part, which is not good, okay, which is hard to think about, but aging itself is very positive.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
I'm Jody Evans. I'm the chair of the Women's Media Center. And the good news is that the Women's Media Center exists. And it exists to make the female half of the world more visible. And it's already done an amazing job of doing that. There's more work to do. But we're uncovering what's been always and exposing how women aren't making the decisions in the media, how the stories aren't about women, by women, and we're helping to educate women, teach them, train them, so that we have more women in the media at all levels.
Thank you very much.
My name's Soledad O'Brien from CNN.
Okay, one question. What's good news for you, Soledad, tonight?
Good news tonight is the fact that this room is jam-packed with people who are celebrating the role of women in media. It's an amazing thing. Good news in general is that everybody who's in this room is obviously committed and has an opportunity to leverage what they do to make sure that women's stories have a bigger role, a bigger place in the news, and that, you know, people here support that. I think all that's very good news.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Margaret Brennan, Bloomberg Television.
Margaret, what's good news for you?
Any kind of good news?
Any kind of good news.
Well, we had a huge rally in the markets today, so that was good news for a lot of people who've had a very painful year. So we'll take the good days when we can get them.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Women's Media Center has never been stronger. We are in the black. We have a wonderful board. We have a wonderful CEO and president and chair, and we're a force to be reckoned with, and that will only grow. We're on the right path, and I feel very good about that. Because media is so important. Media determines how we view the world and how we view ourselves. So it's important that we level the playing field. This is not an anti-man thing. This is just talking about leveling the playing field so that women see themselves in the media. Magazines, newspapers, radio, television, all aspects of the media need to reflect men's issues, men's consciousness, and women's.
Equal representation under the media.
What?
Equal representation under the media.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you so much.